client asks for a budget estimate. You say, I think about $5 million. It's correct English, but somewhere inside you feel it sounds off, like a textbook speaking, not a person.
Okay, I felt that one personally.
A lot of learners do, and the fix is not learning more grammar. The fix is 3 words borrowed from America's favorite sport, baseball, and 1 more from American football. By the end of this episode, you will never say I think about in that context again.
Wait, sports? I don't even know the rules of baseball.
You don't need to. By the time we finish, you'll be using these words in meetings without even thinking about the sport. I promise. Let's get into it.
Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
Maya, I have to admit something. I have sat through meetings where my American colleagues say things like, "What's the game plan?" or "Give me a ballpark figure," and I nod like I understand.
But inside, you're thinking, what sport are we playing right now?
Exactly. I don't know if they're talking about work or if I'm supposed to put on a helmet.
That is exactly why we're doing this episode. Because these aren't just random phrases, they're part of American business culture. And once you understand the pattern behind them, you'll start hearing them everywhere. Let's start with the most common one. Leo, imagine you're in a meeting. The boss turns to you and says, Leo, what's the ballpark figure for this project?
Okay, so I know that means estimate, but why ballpark? Why not basketball court figure?
Great question. So imagine you're at a baseball stadium. You're sitting in the stands. You look down at the field. You don't see the exact distance from the pitcher to the batter. You don't have a measuring tape, but you can say, that's about 60 feet. It's not exact. It's a rough estimate that's good enough for conversation.
Ah, so ballpark is like the view from the stands. You can see the big picture, but not the tiny details.
Perfect, exactly. Your boss doesn't need a precise number down to the dollar. She just wants a rough idea, a ballpark figure. So instead of saying, I think it will cost approximately $5 million, you say, the ballpark figure is around $5 million.
Ballpark figure. Let me try that. The ballpark figure is around $5 million.
Beautiful. Do you feel how much more confident that sounds?
Honestly, yes. I think sounds like I'm unsure. Ballpark figure sounds like I know what I'm talking about, even if it's rough.
That is exactly the cultural shift. In American business, confidence matters almost as much as accuracy. If you say, I think too much, people perceive you as uncertain. But ballpark figure implies that you have a professional range in mind. Now, here's where learners from different backgrounds often trip up. Spanish speakers, for example, sometimes say a number more or less, which is a direct translation from más o menos. And Chinese speakers might say a general number, translating "다케 to 수지" directly.
I've definitely said general number before.
Exactly. And English speakers understand you, but it sounds like a translation. Ballpark figure is the native shortcut. Lean into it. Now, second phrase. Leo, imagine you're planning a product launch. Your team is sitting around the table. Someone says, what's the game plan?
Okay, I know this one means strategy. But again, why game?
Because think about American football. Before every play, the quarterback huddles with the team and says, here's the plan. You block left, you run right, I throw to you. That's the game plan. It's a shared strategy that everyone on the team knows and follows.
So it's not just a plan, it's a plan that everyone is committed to.
Bingo! That cultural nuance is huge. In many cultures, you might say, what is our strategy? That's grammatically fine. But game plan carries the feeling of teamwork, urgency, and action. When someone asks, what's the game plan? They're saying, tell me exactly what we're doing so I can get into position.
So if I say, let's discuss our game plan for the next quarter, that sounds like I'm ready to execute?
Exactly. And it's short, 2 words instead of 5. Business English loves efficiency. Now I want you to try a sentence. You're leading a meeting. How do you start?
Okay. All right, team, let's go over the game plan for the client presentation.
Perfect. You sound like a leader, not a student. Now let's talk about the third one, and this one is the most exciting but also the most commonly misused.
I'm nervous.
Don't be. This one is touchdown.
Okay, so touchdown is from American football, right? When the player gets the ball into the end zone and scores?
Exactly. And in business, people use touchdown to celebrate a major win, a big success, the final result, something worth celebrating.
Okay, so if my team successfully launches a product after 6 months of work, I can say we scored a touchdown?
Yes, but, and this is important, do not use touchdown for every small win. I've seen learners make this mistake. They close a small deal and say touchdown, and native speakers think, whoa, that's a bit much.
Ah, so touchdown is reserved for the big moments.
Exactly. It's the victory lap, the celebration at the end. If you use it too early or too often, you sound, well, like you learned English from a textbook about sports metaphors.
Okay, so what's a better phrase for a smaller win?
Good question. You can say, that's a win, or we're making progress. Save touchdown for when the whole team is going out for drinks to celebrate.
Got it. So, ballpark figure for rough estimates, game plan for shared strategy, touchdown for big wins. But Maya, how did American business culture get so sports obsessed in the first place?
I'm glad you asked, because this is the cultural context that makes everything click. In the United States, sports are not just entertainment. They are a shared language. When two American professionals meet for the first time, they often talk about the local sports team before they talk about business.
Really? Before business?
Really, it's a way to build rapport, to show you're a team player, to demonstrate that you understand competition, strategy, and execution. So these sports metaphors aren't just vocabulary, they're cultural signals.
So, when I use these phrases correctly, I'm not just speaking English. I'm showing that I understand the culture.
You're showing that you belong in the room. And that is a powerful thing. Now, here's the part that surprises most people. A lot of these metaphors come from baseball specifically. Why baseball? Because baseball is called America's pastime. It's been part of American culture for over 150 years. So when an American says ballpark figure, they might not even realize they're referencing baseball. It's just become part of everyday speech.
That explains why I hear these phrases outside of work too. I've heard someone say, "What's the game plan for dinner tonight?"
Exactly, you can use game plan anywhere. What's the game plan for the weekend? That's totally natural. But ballpark figure is mostly for numbers, and touchdown is for celebration. Now let's do a quick practice round. I'm gonna give you a situation. You choose the phrase. Ready?
Ready?
Situation 1. Your boss asks for a rough estimate of next year's budget. What do you say?
I would say, "Here's a ballpark figure."
Yes. Full sentence. Here's a ballpark figure. For next year's budget, it's around 10 million.
Here's a ballpark figure for next year's budget. It's around 10 million.
Perfect. Situation 2. Your team just completed a huge project that took 2 years. The CEO is in the room.
I would say, "This is a touchdown for the company."
Nice. I might say we scored a touchdown with this project, but yours works too. Situation 3. You're starting a new quarter and you want to align with your team. What's the first thing you say?
All right, everyone, let's talk about the game plan for Q3.
Beautiful. You sound like you've been leading meetings in English for years. Now, one more thing, and this is important. Do not mix sports. If you say, let's huddle up and go over the ballpark figure, then we'll score a touchdown. It sounds a little confused.
So mix baseball and football?
It's like mixing tennis and basketball. Just pick a metaphor and stick with it. Keep it clean. Now let's do the listener challenge. I want you to pause this episode right now and say one sentence out loud using ballpark figure. Say it to your wall, to your coffee cup, to your cat. Just say it so your mouth gets used to the sounds.
Ballpark figure. Ballpark figure. That feels good.
Now say, let me give you a ballpark figure.
Let me give you a ballpark figure.
Exactly. Now tomorrow, when you're in a meeting and someone asks for an estimate, you will have this phrase ready. And you know what's going to happen?
What?
You're going to feel a small moment of confidence. And that confidence is going to make you sound more natural and more professional. And then you're going to think, I learned that from a podcast.
That's the goal. Maya, before we wrap up, give me one sentence I can repeat to myself. The takeaway from today.
Today's rule. Swap I think about for ballpark figure, swap strategy for game plan, and save touchdown for the big celebration. 3 phrases. 1 cultural shift. You'll sound like you belong.
I love that. And if you're listening right now, do us a favor, subscribe and hit the bell. Every episode, we decode one piece of American culture so you can communicate like a native. not like a textbook.
And if you want to go deeper, drop a comment with your own sentence using ballpark figure. I'll reply and tell you if it sounds natural. Until next time, this is Maya.
And Leo, keep speaking like a native.